Hello, BookTube, and welcome to Poetry Friday. We're going to return one more time to the Penguin Book of Irish Poetry, edited by Patrick Crotty. This big fat thing that I got from Book Depository years ago, and just put on the Penguin shelf after a cursory read. And so I've been looking through it again since we're dealing with poetry, and we are going to go all the way to the present day. We're going to go to a poet who's still alive, not only still alive, but born in 1973, according to this book tells me. Alan Gillis was born in 1973. That makes him younger than any article of clothing I'm currently wearing. And we're going to see what we make of one of his poems. We don't usually have much luck at poetry that late, but we're going to try. This one is called Progress. They say that for years Belfast was backwards, and it's great now to see some progress. So I guess we can look forward to the taking boxes from the earth. I guess that ambulances will leave the dying back amidst the rubble to be explosively healed. Given time, 100,000 particles of glass will create impossible patterns in the air before coalescing into the clarity of a window, through which a reassembled head will look out and admire the shy young man taking his bomb from the building and driving home. That is the poem. It's not poetry, right? unless you're going to stretch the definition of poetry to say that poetry is anything that the writer says is a poem rather than prose. Who on earth cares what actual shape it takes on the page, right? This poem takes the look. Progress takes the look of a poem. There's absolutely no reason whatsoever in the actual text of what I just read that dictates where those line breaks go. None whatsoever. It's very vivid imagery. It's a very vivid little reflection. You know, Belfast has been backwards for so long. It's good to see there's some progress. The writer, the poet, obviously saw that tossed off line in a newspaper or a magazine article somewhere or online, and thought, well, there's a poem here, and taking that literally. So let's see if progress means that we're going to rewind the clock literally on the troubles. If there's progress, we'll see it that way. That it will reverse. In other words, we'll make time run backwards in order to see that progress. So the dead will come right out of their boxes, and that wonderful image at the end, that the glass will coalesce back into a window, the wonderful clarity of a window. And a dead shopkeep will look out that window and see someone taking his bomb and going home backwards from everything that happened. It's lovely imagery. It's very, very strong little meditation. Angry as well, which I think Irish poetry is too seldom and usually very wonderfully angry. My only objection to it is that you can tell when the author was born. You can tell when the author was born because there is nothing that makes what I just read a poem. It's really good. Whatever it is, it's really good. But unless you twist the definition of what we're talking about so badly that anything that you stack up vertically instead of playing out horizontally in paragraphs becomes a poem, well, if that's true, then I'm a poet. But I liked it anyway. It's an odd combination because that's not the only time I've had that reaction, where I'll read something that I think is extremely evocative, extremely good, and I'll say, you know, I love this. I want to read more from this author. It's not poetry. I don't know what it is. Really evocative prose that's oddly typed, I guess. And I feel that way too with this author. I don't know this author at all, Alan Gillis. I think that's the only thing I've ever read by him. I'm assuming that he's still alive, so there's probably a new book, you know, or a big collection. I'll have to look into that and see. He's definitely someone that I want to read. I'm not hanging everything on form. I'm just... The point I'm trying to make, even to my own ears in the 21st century, feels so old-fashioned. Because in the 21st century, not only is reality whatever you claim it is, but you've got a team of lawyers ready to sue and completely destroy the life of anyone who says otherwise. completely destroy their life. Not just make a factual case in contradiction to them in a public forum, but find every employer, find every future employer, find the employers of the children, the wife, the grandchildren, the in-laws, totally destroy their life. And yet, it seems to me that reality still takes on a rule of its own, and that if you can say that that is a poem, then you can say that I'm a poet. And if you can say that I'm a poet because I can write an evocative paragraph like that, I here, hypothetically, I can't do that, but I'm sure there are people who can, who don't call themselves poets, then why not call what I just read you a ballet? Why not do that? And then mercilessly attack as a stupid bigot anyone who says, well, it's not a ballet, though, just factually, just definitionally, it's not. So you see the trouble we get into when we read contemporary stuff. I am tempted, as a cure-all, to spend the next week reading great poems. I almost never do that here on your daily poetry read. I almost never read great stuff, canonical stuff that would be in, a top 100 poems of all time lists, that sort of thing. I figure, you've got David Wiley for that a lot of the time, but maybe we should read some other stuff rather than mess around with the contemporaries. We will see. I am not done. I am going to be messing around with the Irish contemporaries for the rest of the night. With a wide open mind. I know this video doesn't make it sound like I have one, but I do. I loved what I read. I think it's really good. It's just definitions, that's all. It's the plague of the 21st century. It's just definitions. But anyway, that's your poem for today. I think perhaps we'll pull away a little from the Irish for next time. But we shall see. Like I say, it's totally random, so who knows? I'll figure it out, and you'll be the first to know. Thank you, BookTube.